protect his shot from Ayton.
Chris Paul slides it over to Ayton.
Yeah, he's got the little pop shot too.
Any player that's ever played with Chris Paul, when he comes in and Paul's there, should just go to him and say, how much of my salary do you want?
Exactly. You give him a cut. Give him a cut.
Because he's going to take care of you.
Handing the best of you.
Jones trying to find an opening and does. 11-9. Spurs back within 2. And to Stan Gundy and his Twitter. You aren't aware of what we're talking about. Speaking of Twitter, is Keldon Johnson with a left-hand scoop. Paul.
See that subtle little ball fake he gave?
8 on the shot clock as Doug brings it back across. Keldon Johnson left to try to create something. Deep fadeaway 3. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Wave him off. Good work.
Draws the double team. That leaves Sohan open. Couldn't make him pay. Coming underneath. Collins to Sohan, the destroyer. As he knocks it down with a 2-hand dunk.
All of us, even.
Well, it's usually not a matter of if, but when, right?
True. At some point, at least a couple times.
Oh, what was the old saying? You get hired to get fired.
8 point per game average, 39% shooter and limited attempts from 3. Effective tonight. Sohan off the window. Oh, mama! Hello! A Pirtle jam. 3 minutes to go here in the half. Spurs looking for a little spurt. Bates Diop. And 1 for KBD.
They were meant to send a message.
And for such a nice man, it must be where he got it out, the anger.
That's right.
Cam Johnson, nice feed underneath.
Right on cue. I mean,
Ayton says, well, I can do that.
Oh, you gotta shoot it.
He does in time. Oh, my goodness. Keldon Johnson.
Makes a big difference just to have him out there on the defensive end.
Couldn't stop me, or there 8 in there.
Mark Lindsay is going to get nothing but great comments.
He smoothed you over.
I mean, the only thing he could have done better was wear a jersey with number 32 on it.
That always wins.
Ooh, that'll win too, as Cam Johnson gets loose for the dunk. Coming off 22 against Dallas. In the last 4 games, he's averaged 18 while shooting 57%. Sohan gets crafty around the hoop. Johnson gives it up to Pirtle against Ayton. Jakob for 2.
Yeah, this is a quick shot too.
But it is fun to just
yeah, it is.
hit it.
Just throw it out of bounds.
Bridges back to Cam Johnson. He doesn't need much to get open. Bates Diop. Couldn't go to Johnson with 5 on the shot clock. Sohan bails him out with a jumper. The food at the decaying college game. And the Coyote out on the floor with Whataburger.
I mean, if he's bringing it.
As Ayton puts this one back in.
Wherewithal to.
Well, then that kid is Daniel Day-Lewis of acting, because he looked legitimately confused.
Yeah, I mean, how can you be? I mean, there's a game going on. If you people bringing food and beer, they're not walking on the court.
So good.
Coyote just did. Chris Paul answers to make it 69-58. 7:20 clock in the 3rd.
Come on, Jakob, continue to go to work. I like what Jakob was doing there early.
Well, he ran into Keldon Johnson. He got a little cluttered in there, and then he finds Bates Diop.
I was impressed with it because he turned and shot right in the face of Chris Paul.
Paul freezes Jakob Pirtle. And how much he cared about me as a person.
Yeah,
it's got a vintage pop, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not personal.
No, he's a teddy bear away from the court. I'm telling you, that the whole gruff thing, there are times that he is gruff. Jeremy Sohan putting on an offensive show here.
Want more? Oh, what a pass. And the bucket from Branham. Paul's pass deflected. Ayton scrambles after it. Saves it right to Branham. For a 3-point play possibility. Sohan with 14 in the quarter. Chris Paul for 2.
That's just impossible. I mean, that's a great contest there from Zach.
Chris Paul over Collins, and good. And barking at the official, wanted him.
That can't be right. Are you sure it was him?
McDermott for three. Doug answers quickly. Trying to catch it. This is here. Rebound Biyombo. Damian Lee spins it in.
That's a terrific effort there from Damian Lee.
41 seconds remaining.
How's Biyombo even out there right now?
Yeah. Talk about courage.
Tough man.
Yeah, focus.
Paul over
No.
Collins again.
The good news is they're not doing much either, but
Right.
this is that moment.
Exactly, and that's why I said there's no Chris Paul on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, close the gap.
Collins. 4 or 5 minutes. Jones took it away from Lee. There's the bucket. Trey Jones.
There it is.
Goodness.
Wow.
Can't give him 2 or 3 chances.
Back to Saric. No call and 7:58 remaining. Here is Lee. Johnson trying to stay without fouling. Goes inside, and there is an and one for Phoenix.
Didn't allow him to bully him.
Keldon missing the three. Stanley Johnson stops. Fires for two.
He came back in March of last year, if I'm not mistaken. He hasn't really gotten a full season under his belt.
Mikal Bridges with the up and under. Oh, and it's taken away, and now Cam Johnson misses the three. Finally.
Oh, Keldon's wide open.
Here he is. Got Sohan, lays it up and in.
Jeremy Sohan, oh no.
They let Paul walk into a three. They don't secure the rebound, but it's saved back to Keldon Johnson. Here come the Spurs. Keldon rolling to the hoop. He scores! Oh, mama! Against Stanley Johnson. And he makes a pass, and it's blocked! Spurs coming back at you. Johnson again in the paint. Oh, my goodness! We need a new roof!
You live with that one.
1:33 to go. Sohan launches a three.
Uh-oh, am I bouncing?
Get in there! Oh, my goodness! Jeremy Sohan!
You're not going to swipe the ball away from Chris Paul down low. You got to block it as he goes into his shot.
Bridges. And Phoenix goes up by 3. Here is Sohan. Career high 30. Keldon Johnson lays it up and in. He's fouled! He is fouled! An and one for the big body.
No time to turn the ball over.
Both teams make a mistake in the opening possessions. 8 spoon fed for Chris Paul.
And that's the angle that Chris Paul takes off.
Ayton and Paul, 23 apiece for Phoenix. Here's Chris Paul, wide open.
Well, it's just an impossible matchup for any center.
Jeremy Sohan basically running the point. What an experience for this guy.
It's a good night.
Keldon hops in the paint, gets 2, the first bucket of OT for the Spurs.
Pop wants him to push the pace because the Suns team, they're going to get a little tired.
Bridges. Damian shoot 47% from deep. He's open. You got to take it.
He's made 1 anyways.
Bridges. 1:28 remaining. Suns working some clock. 8 on the clock now. Oh, an and one for Bridges.
Waste some clock, bring the ball up.
Collins ahead to Johnson. He's fouled and scores. No, the Phoenix Suns have won 8 straight in the series against the Spurs. 7 straight here in